Greetings. Today is Thursday, but it's the ramblings that normally reflect on my homily for this coming Sunday. I try to record it on Wednesdays, but this particular week has been a very busy and not difficult, but a challenging week. And so I didn't have a chance to complete my homily before today. And so rather than going off half-baked, I thought I'd wait till I got to the end of my homily before beginning to talk about what it might sound like. Now, normally that would be a sound decision, but unfortunately it means that I'm out of sync. However, this week has been, is the third week of my message series, Living with Power. It's also the weekend that begins NAIDOC Week, which is National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Week. So there is a liturgy that is prepared for this Sunday. And the theme of the liturgy is a new life in Christ. Now that quite beautifully fits in with where we are in our journey towards a new vision and a way of moving ahead in our parish. As I've said over the last couple of weeks, the vision is to be a vibrant Catholic community, and that's the first stage of what we're about. The reason I chose Catholic in there is that any community can be a vibrant community, but we wanted to actually place it in the center of who we are and what we're about. So being a vibrant Catholic community might sound redundant in some way, but it's the way it works. Now, one of those aspects of being a vibrant community and a Catholic community is that we are called to welcome others. In our first reading from the book of Kings, we hear the story of how the woman saw and appreciated Elisha going past. So she and her husband were prepared to build a room for him on top of her house so that he could rest there on his journeys. In the gospel, Jesus reminds his disciples that they are called to leave everything else behind so that when they go out to others, there's a freedom in what they're doing. The challenge is, I suppose, how do you walk away from family and friends and not look like you're avoiding them? Well, I used the example in my message this weekend of the safety briefing that's normally given when you catch an aeroplane. The cabin staff tell you that if oxygen is needed, the mask will come down from the panel above your head. And then they tell you to put your mask on first before attempting to help someone else. So I'd like to think that what Jesus was actually saying is rather than try to save everybody and lose your own life, the process is to really accept Jesus first, so that then you can lead others to him, rather than trying to convert others before actually accepting him into your life in the first instant. So there is a real challenge to us if we're going to be a vibrant community and if we're going to work for the good of the gospel and go out to greet others, then we have to be very aware that part of that is what we're called to do, to die to ourselves, to die to sin in our lives, in order that we might be able to accept the glory of the gospel. So Paul reminds us in his letter to the Romans that we do need to die to sin in order to rise through baptism. So even though it's a couple of days late, I'd like to hope that this will provide just a little bit of a launching pad for you to think about this Sunday's readings, and especially to recognise as we celebrate NAIDOC Week and NATSICC Sunday, that we might in fact know that a new life in Christ is what we're all called to live. But we can only do that by leaving some things behind. Not because we're walking away from them, but because we need to create that new life for ourselves first, so that we can then be a witness to others. Have a great week. Take care. I look forward to seeing you next time on my Wednesday ramblings. Hopefully, even on the right day. Take care.